everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun coffee themed card for you. There's a lot of experimenting going on lately in my craft room, and I decided to record it. I'm using this die by Casual Fridays for the cup and the word coffee, and then the little fireworks stencil. I don't know exactly where that's from. I think it came in a Scrapping for Less kit a long time ago. And then this stencil with the hearts I'm using right there, that's from Pink and Maine. It's got 3 different kind of like confettis on it. I love that stencil. So what I'm doing here is putting some deco foil transfer paste through my stencil and on the handle of this mug. I thought this one needed a fancy handle, and so I just kind of cleaned it up. I have been very lazy with my cell phone lately and have been using it while I'm filming, and I usually can cut it out, and in this video I was not able to successfully cut it out all the time. I need to just stop playing with my cell phone while I'm recording. Anyway, sorry. This red one here, I am using the same transfer paste to apply this fireworks here, which I thought was super cool, and I figured, what a fun coffee cup would that be. So this card is not part of the Coffee Lovers blog hop, but it could be. It just, the dates are wrong. This card is part of the Die Cut Divas Make It a Beverage challenge for this month. It's a blog challenge, so you'll see a coordinating blog post over on their site, and I'll have that linked below. And Casual Fridays is the sponsor, but you can use any dies that you have. In the Die Cut Divas, their challenge is just use a die cutting machine, and you can use it for die cutting, you can use it for embossing, you can use it for, I don't know, what else can you use a die cutting machine for? That's what you can, that'll be good enough for the challenge. So link up a blog if you have one. It's always super fun, and I love seeing all the different projects. So while I was chatting there, I ran this through with a carrier sheet through my laminator. And I always try to make sure that my pieces cool completely before I pull the foil off. I just find that I get better results that way. So here is that pretty cup with the hearts on it. I was loving it. And then I used this rainbow foil for the for the fireworks. Thought that was perfect for fireworks. So I'm going to do some ink blending over this mug here. This is Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxides. I wanted something that was going to blend nice and smooth, and really wanted it to look kind of like ceramic in this chalky finish that these have. Definitely looks more ceramic to me than Distress inks. And then I used, what is this one? I don't remember which one that one is. Hold on, let's look. Broken China? Yeah. To deepen up the edges, and then I buffed it off with a microfiber cloth. For the fireworks cup, I did bring out my Distress inks because I used colored cardstock for this one, and this is mahogany, whatever the mahogany one is. Rich mahogany? I don't know. And just deepened up the edges of this one. It gives it some really good shading. I think it makes that fireworks just pop right off that cup. I would totally drink my coffee out of this cup. How about you? Which one so far has been your favorite? Have you been like, yes, I want that cup, or no, I wanted the white cup? So I just cleaned off my area here. This video also, besides my cell phone being a big deal, also my editing software did not like this footage. I don't really know what's going on, but I wasn't able to cut out everything that I would have loved to cut out. Here I'm adding the coffee to the coffee mug with some Copic markers. Nothing spectacular, just a solid shade, and then adding a little darker where it would be inside the cup there. And I used a piece of this Scotch repositionable tape to kind of back the opening where the coffee piece is going to fit back in my cups. It just helps me to piece it back together easier. I do that when I paper piece too. A lot of times I will add tape to the back, like if I'm filling in a frame or something. I just, it makes things easier. I'm not putting the cup down and then trying to fit that piece in. Now it's all one piece. For my background, remember I said that there was going to be some experimenting? Here it comes. There's a lot of experimenting. So this stencil is by Miss Ink Stamps, and I love this stencil. It is probably my current favorite. And I wanted to do kind of a different color combination. So I have the mahogany color, I have the ripe persimmon, and I have honey. What is that one called? It's the honey one, wild honey. The other one is called aged mahogany. That's what it is. So this color combination is beautiful, by the way. I will be using it again. This was the first time I ever used it, collectively. And I just thought it was rich and gorgeous, and it kind of had a glow to it. There are lots of layers that go into this card, and I absolutely think it's stunning in the end. It did not turn out anything like I thought it was going to as far as background, but we'll get to all that. So this aged mahogany blends beautifully into the ripe persimmon. I would have never guessed. Never in a million years would I have pulled these colors, and I have no idea why I was drawn to them. But I think that this is a super beautiful color combination. And then this is the wild honey here, and it just brightens it all up so much. And look at how beautiful that is. I left this part in because this is a missed opportunity for me. I could have sprayed that and then laid another piece of cardstock up and picked up all of that ink. Would have made a second background, but I didn't. So I am shifting the stencil after I cleaned it off, and I'm taping it back down to my project. And I'm pulling out my glimmer paste, the clear Nouveau glimmer paste. It is apparently a favorite because it is almost gone. I know, I always forget to order it, and I'm going to be out. I'm going to be very sad. I don't really use it all that much, I think. I have no idea how it got gone. But I'm sad. I'm absolutely sad, and I should totally buy some more. So in shifting the stencil, it's going to mask some of those ink blended areas that are just ink blended. It's also going to put some of this glimmer paste down in areas that have absolutely no ink at all. So it's just going to go over the white. So you get this kind of layered effect here. See how it's just, I don't know, it glows kind of. So here are my bits and pieces. And this is going to be where I get my actual sentiment, even though I have the coffee words, but I'm going to use this Trinity Stamps set here, and it's going to say, thanks a lot. I like this set because it's buildable. There is only one little A or in there, one letter A. I wish there was two, because I used this set in a card recently that I needed to, and then I had to move it. Anyway, I was kind of working on my placement here. Remember, my background is drying off in the distance, and I am going to stamp this sentiment on a black piece of cardstock from my scrap bin. How big is your scrap bin? My scrap bin is a pretty big, well, it's probably like 11 by 16 maybe basket from the Dollar Tree, and I have all my scraps standing up in it. I try not to keep too many scraps. I really do use a lot of pattern paper and colored cardstock, but that's where things go. There are stuff in there that's very, very old. I try to pick through there first, and this was one of those times where I found a piece of black cardstock that was big enough. So here I just white heat embossed it on this black cardstock. And that powder bag I have works amazing. It leaves a lot of dust, but I just use the cloth that I get from that company that's just scrap perfect. This bag, the embossing bag, and the little yellow cloth are from them. I get the best results when I use that when I heat emboss. And then I just fussy cut this out. I stayed pretty close to the words. I like that there's a couple companies out there that have dies that go with the words, but since this is kind of a buildable stamp set, I don't think that anything like that could exist for something like this. So now I'm to the point where I'm going to start putting my bits and pieces together-ish. There's still more steps, but I'm going to start kind of building my things. So I added the word coffee to my one mug. The other mug I was going to put coffee on, but I decided it's not really going to be seen too much, and the word coffee would look kind of funny. So here I'm trying to see what it's going to look like on my background, and I am loving it. And I could have stopped at just the ink blending. I could have stopped at the embossing paste added onto, or the glitter paste added onto the background here. It's very pretty. But I do go one step further, and I almost had a heart attack when I pulled it out because I thought I had ruined it. And you see how far we're into this. So I'm going to stick my stencil down again, shifted from all of the previous times. It's not going to line up at all in any of the spots. And I'm going to take that transfer gel, the same stuff that I used on my mugs, and I'm going to spread it from the center out, not going all the way to the edge of the paper. It's not going to cover everything. And the stencil is going to provide some masking, so I will get some true ink blended spots, some true just glitter spots, and ink blending with glitter over top. But now this part has to dry, and it didn't take too long for it to actually dry. And while I was waiting here, I knew I had more steps, so I just scrub this down with some water on my microfiber cloth. I did take it to the sink later and scrub it up really well. If I had used glitter paste like I did before, I did take it immediately to my sink and scrub it off, but because I was able to kind of clean it up at my desk, I just did it that way. I did, like I said, take it later. So here, I will tell you that this did not have enough time to dry as far as I know. I don't think it did, and I think that's why this was my result. So I let my cheap Amazon laminator heat up. This little laminator has been through so much in my craft room, and I'm always like, you're such a cheap little thing. It was less than $20, and I have lots of things in my craft room less than $20. I should not talk to it like that because it does things like this. So it stuck the foil down to everything, the glitter paste to the everything. So I took a stiff stencil brush and I kind of went over it to kind of loosen up the stuff that wasn't actually stuck down. And then I was just not sure. But once I layered on the 2 coffee cups and the sentiment, I was like, how perfect is this background? It has texture and shine. Where the foil stuck to the glitter paste, it has that glitter texture. Where it's stuck to the transfer gel, it's smooth. It's not perfectly smooth because I applied it with a palette knife, so there is some texture. And it's just so pretty. I am going to be trying this in the future. Absolutely 100% without a doubt think that this is a technique that will show up again in a video because I thought it was super fun. But I was concerned that I had ruined it for a minute or two. So I stuck down my 2 coffee cups here, added this sentiment, and I did layer these flat. There is no foam tape or anything behind there. I thought that would kind of be too much since there's a lot going on in this card already. And that is the front of my card. For the inside, I took the little coffee beans from that Thanks a Latte set, and I stamped them in the inside with one of the brown distress inks. You know, distress inks don't stamp perfectly, but they stamp good enough for the inside of a card. So I just put a little pile of these coffee beans in the inside, and I thought that was good enough for this card. I always make sure I recrease my card bases. I like them to lay absolutely flat while I'm putting cards together. And then I never can cut anything straight, so I did trim off the top edge of that before we took photos. So here are some still shots of my card. I absolutely hope that you enjoyed all of my mistakes coming into this gorgeous card. And please check out the Die Cut Divas blog. I'll have it linked below. And go check out all the different projects that were submitted or submit a project yourself. Remember, give cards generously. Bye!